I didn't want to talk about this, but Jack Murphy keeps screwing shit up. Let's start with the background. Jack Murphy, he's a masculine role model for men. Kind of like, think of Jordan Peterson, except uses the word alpha a lot. I didn't know this actually. I see him on Tim Pool and I thought, this guy's pretty good. Never seen him refer to himself as an alpha like 20 times in a row anytime that he writes an article of any sort. That's kind of crazy to me. Usually, if you have to tell people something about yourself, then that something about yourself is not true, in my experience. If you need to convince someone of something, it's probably not a true thing, or something that easily comes to mind when they think of you. A super chat started all of this, which is the best part. It was like a $5, $10 super chat, doesn't matter. It destroyed Jack Murphy. Whoever wrote that super chat is a god. Someone writes a super chat in Sydney's show here. Sydney watches the show from The Blaze. And it basically asked Jack about this cooking article. Let's see that right now.
Advanced Jack. Asked Murphy about the article he wrote about literally cuckolding his wife. I wish I was drinking True Alpha.
Wow.
True.
Wow, you went there with that. I have...
Yeah, first of all, he takes it as a direct insult to him, as if Sydney Watson was ready to, light him up.
Absolutely no comment on that other than to say that whatever people's perceptions is about that, it's 180 degrees wrong. And it has...
First of all, he lies right here. He lies. So he starts it off with a lie. He's like, any perceptions about that? It's wrong. It's like, you wrote the article. They're asking you, what are your thoughts on that? It's like, it's a lie. It's like, you actually wrote this article.
Nothing to do with people think what they're thinking it to be today.
Yeah, so no, Jack Murphy completely denies it. He's like, it doesn't exist. I never wrote that shit, you lying bitches. I love that reaction. It was good. It gets brought up again. I want to see how Jack calmly handles this situation. Very calmly.
Mr. Dickenballs says, hey, Jack.
Mr. Dickenball is a savior that we needed and did not deserve. Jack laughs. He's not going to be laughing after this.
Mr. Dickenball said,
Could you please clear up the cuck article you wrote?
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
not going to talk about
Again?
this.
Okay.
And basically, you know what? Fuck you for bringing this up right here and right now.
It's like, how dare you corner me like this? Oh no, how could you do this to me? How could you do me like this?
Why are you doing this to me?
I didn't know that. I didn't know what it was.
Well, just use a little bit of fucking common sense.
Oh my goodness. It's how you do this to me? Jack Murphy, you can't do this to me like this.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Elizabeth.
Oh
Heartfelt.
my goodness.
Eli-
This is great. She just goes back to reading like nothing happened there. Jack gets up here. Calmly gets up, walks away. They're trying to talk to him. Supposedly, at some point while leaving, he turns around and says, fuck you, and then leaves, which is the alpha Chad move there. Elijah puts his hand up like, whoa. So I'm inclined to believe Sydney when she says that he said fuck you as he left. Does that look like a response? The response you would give when someone just said fuck you for no reason. Alright, so Jack goes on Tim Pool's show and you expect him to explain this shit, of course. I mean, what do we get?
So here's what happened with Sydney. So I'm sitting on
Yeah, he handled the situation as bad as humanly possible, so let's see how he explains this shit.
the show and we're talking and they're joking about reading super chats where people are building like gas chambers and she's reading out loud like, how did I build this gas chamber that didn't kill all the Jews that I was supposed to kill, right? It's like insane, the super chats that she reads. And so I'm telling her this whole time, I'm like,
how dare she just read the super chats as they're given?
hey, you might want to read all the super chats before you read them out loud, right? A little bit of a warning. And then she asked...
That's a lot of work to do, though, and also some people, that's their whole gimmick. I mean, not gimmick, but that's what they do. They just read the super chats given to them. People pay money to have the super chat read. You know, people like to know that it's read. When they read it out loud, they know that it's been read.
Me the question about the article, and I answered it politely. I deflected. I was like, that's not me. It's 180 degrees from whatever that article says.
Yeah, I mean, he did deflect, so at least he's honest about that. I don't remember him saying that's not me, but let's go.
And I'd really rather not talk about it anymore. And then...
Yeah, that's a huge mistake, first of all. If you say something bothers you on the internet, people come at you with that thing that bothers you.
A couple minutes later, she literally asked me the same question all over again.
It was a super chat.
And I cursed at her. I shouldn't have cursed at her. And I apologized, said...
No, you shouldn't.
I apologized to her that day and that night and the next day. And she accepted my apology, so I don't know why everybody's still butthurt.
Yeah, it's actually bullshit, though. That night... He said fuck you that night, so that's actually a lie. That's another lie that he's told already.
But I shouldn't have cursed at her. I should have just used amused mastery and just like laughed at her and dismissed her. But I didn't because I had set a boundary and she crossed it. And
did you though? Did you say we can't talk about this anymore? I don't recall you ever saying that.
And that's part of being a man too, is saying, here's my boundary, please don't cross it. And then she crossed it, and I told her that I didn't like it.
It's not how it looked to anyone else. Literally anyone else didn't see what you saw there.
Did I use the right words? No. Should I have cursed at her? No. And did I apologize to her for that? Yes.
I mean, that's debatable. I don't think he ever did, actually.
She apologized to me for putting me in a bad spot? Yes. Did Elijah? Yes. Did Elijah and I go out for dinner and drinks afterwards? Yes. Has Sydney and I talked afterwards? Yes. So I don't understand why everybody's so white knighting, simping for her. She can stand up for herself. It's resolved. And in my mind, it's done.
It gets so much worse than this. I wish I could tell you how bad it gets. In fact, I will tell you how bad it gets. Okay, so after this, going on Tim's show, and Sydney coming out. But it's at the same time as Sydney coming out and saying Jack is lying his ass off. Oh my goodness, I can't show this, can I? I can't show this. Yeah, I can't show this. So after this, it comes out that Jack Murphy has been getting pegged on Chatterbait. Somebody found Jack's Chatterbait name and website. I'm thinking they always knew about this, right? Someone always knew about this and didn't think to expose it until the Cuck article. Once the Cuck article happened, that's when shit really hit the fan and everything went downhill for Jack Murphy here. So the Chatterbait that Jack Murphy operated 2 years ago, he gets pegged in it. Also, he talks about sleeping with men, fucking men in various ways. I can't really go into it. It's pretty bad stuff. It's pretty graphic material. He gets pegged by his wife. I mean, she takes a strap on it, you know, just blows his rectum out, really. And this all started with that article where Jack wrote this article about how great it is in 2015 to be cucked. Send your wife to be cucked, and that it was super, super alpha. I don't know why you would put that. Like, those two things don't make sense to me. Why would you put alpha and cucked in, like, the same article? So that instantly made Jack a meme once that was found out. His response to it made everyone pissed off at him. And then people were so mad at him, they're just like, fuck it, I'm gonna reveal his Chatterbait. And yeah, show him talking about fucking men and being fucked by women in the ass. So that's great. Also, this happened. There was a mass shooting from someone in Jack's paid men's group, Liminal Order, where you had to pay somewhere around $100 a month to be part of his group. Yeah, after this article came out about him cucking, or it was the pegging part, this guy went on a mass shooting. I'm not sure if those two things are related, but supposedly he killed like 5 people in Colorado. So that's pretty rough. That's pretty rough. I'm not saying Jack did that, but I'm thinking that the news that came out with Jack, I mean, that might have had something to do with it. I don't know, though. But it was pretty crazy. I can't believe that happened. Yeah, we should talk about this, too. Jack has a group that you have to pay to be his friend. It's like $100 a month. The Liminal Order. Yep, so you have to pay to be Jack's friend. And supposedly when you pay to do this, there's also many other classes. They're like pyramid schemes where you pay money to go to these classes so that you'll be told how to be successful. These never work, by the way. These are always frauds. So if that's true, then Jack Murphy looking like kind of a fraud right now. That's my opinion. Anyway, so the quartering bags on Jack Murphy. He goes at Jack Murphy pretty hard here. What happens is, well, Jack responds as any reasonable person would and talks to his private Liminal Order chat group and tells them that they need to start doxing people that are giving him shit. So that's good. That also leaked. I mean, at this point, the people in Liminal Order are probably abandoning ship, so it's not surprising at all that that leaked. But maybe it was surprising to Jack Murphy because he responded by closing the group, so you can't actually get into it anymore. You can't pay money to Jack Murphy even if you want to. That's how afraid Jack Murphy is of anyone coming in there and fucking his shit up. So that's pretty funny. And so that's about where we're at with Jack Murphy right now. I was told Jack's going to have some sort of hearing on this or some sort of podcast on this where he addresses all the real shit, where he basically explains himself. I'm not sure why you would ever do this. I think this is a terrible, terrible idea if that's true. If that's true, I can't believe Jack Murphy is that stupid. I honestly can't believe it. This is someone who actually enjoyed Jack Murphy on Tim Pool's show. He was really interesting, I thought. He brought a unique perspective to the show. I was like, oh man, this guy's very entertaining. I like him a lot. Now it seems like he was just playing a character, honestly. Because, I mean, instead of addressing it, he wants to deflect it. And there's no evidence that he actually lives the lifestyle that he claims to, represent. It's kind of like, I think Sydney brought this up, like he's actually role-playing as an Alpha Chad. Because he needs to tell everyone he's an Alpha Chad. And he doesn't have to explain all of his actions that are contrary to that, which is a lot of them at this point. So in other words, I mean, Jack Murphy's greatest enemy was himself here. Pay me money and, you know, you'll be better off. If you do that, then you're kind of taking advantage of the victims, the people that are actually looking to Jack Murphy for advice. They look to him like as if he's a father figure or someone who can give advice. And then they're just finding out he's a giant fraud. So, I mean, I think he kind of took advantage of those people. If he's marketing himself and this group as one thing, and Jack Murphy's actually not that person, fraudulent in nature, actually, and I would demand my money back if I was them. Yeah, Jack Murphy's a giant fraud. Let's just put it that way. What a train wreck, man.